All right. Hello, and welcome to day 1.01 of React.js Conf. So we made a few bug fixes since yesterday, but the public API, it's all the same. Restrooms, near the escalator, etc. So the changes we made were largely in response to the survey that we sent out last night. For example, we learned that the women's restroom has been playing Keeping Up with the Kardashians on repeat. So we're deeply, deeply sorry about that. It sounds really bad. There we go. Yeah, so it's important for us to know how we're doing. So you can kind of think of the survey as like our test suite, and your honest, constructive feedback is like a failing test with a good error message. So if you could take a moment to respond to the survey during the break, that would be really helpful for us. We'll try and address anything right away, and we'll continuously deploy new minor and patch versions of the conference throughout the day. All right, so our first speaker today is James Ide. He's often mistakenly referred to as James Ide. It's IDE, so I don't know. He's a co-founder of Exponent, which is also where I work, and his name is definitely one that you'll recognize if you spend any time on the React Native repo. He's the most prolific contributor to React Native outside of Facebook, and he's the author of several popular libraries, including Xnavigator. So he's going to start us off this morning with a less technical talk about React Native and a bit about team building. So let's welcome him with some claps.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi, my name is James Ide, and I'm here to talk to you today about how React Native is actually ready for prime time and how that pertains to teams and technologies. So for a little bit of context, I'd like to tell you a bit about myself. I'm a core contributor to React Native with about 150 commits to GitHub, and I help with releases every now and then. By trade, I'm a software developer, and specifically I'm interested in libraries and systems for product development. I gave up frameworks years ago. My industry experience includes working at Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and most recently, Exponent. And I was really lucky to see the engineering org in each of these companies. And this shaped my own opinions on engineering teams, and this is what I want to talk to you today about. The other thing about my industry experience is that for most of my career, I've done web development, probably like many of you in this room here today. And it was only around about 2.5 years ago that I shifted my focus to mobile. And I'm going to talk about one reason for that change. So in the past few years, we've seen some very significant changes in technology, and I want to talk about two of those changes. The first and most significant is mobile.
Has this nice property that it's referential transparent, and it's nice so we can use that to actually solve our problem. What's funny is that in React DOM or React Native, we didn't have this use case. Like you cannot even share the same DOM elements at the end. But in OpenGL world, it's quite important to not compute 2 times the same thing. So yeah, you can check this out on all these libraries. On NPM, we have a bunch of them, like the classical effects. And yeah, thank you.
All right. That was awesome. Yes, sorry about the noise back there. I like to jackhammer into concrete when I get really excited. So it might happen a bit more throughout the day, but we'll see. All right, we're going to take a break now, and then we'll come back and resume. That's what breaks are. See ya. Okay. Our next speaker is Jared Forsyth. Jared works at Khan Academy, but I met him back at React Rally in August when he was an intern at Facebook. So during his time at Facebook, he worked with the React team, and he actually rebuilt the React dev tools. So probably a lot of you are using his code somewhere. He also has a great blog at jaredforsyth.com. He writes about programming languages and techniques. So he writes about things like Rust and Go, ClojureScript, and reactive programming. He's intimidatingly smart and humble. So yeah, here's Jared. Please clap.
Hi. So, as he said, I'm Jared Forsyth. I'm going to be talking about managing app state in React. And this is what I look like on the internet. A little bit different, so you can recognize me. And right now I work at Khan Academy doing mobile development and web development. And we're trying to make it so that anyone, anywhere, can have access to a world-class education for free. A couple of important points about Khan Academy. First, it was founded in 2006, which, for reference, is when jQuery was first released. So that's eons ago in JavaScript time. And also, we have a lot of really rich JavaScript-heavy applications. And we're also a very early adopter of React. So managing app state in React is something that we care a lot about. So today, first, I'll start with talking about the problem, why I think this is worth giving a talk about. And then I'll talk about some of the current solutions. And I'll conclude with some recommendations for you to think about when you're addressing this problem in your own apps. So first, why is this a problem? Why is there even the question of how to manage app state in React? Well, when React came out, it was the V in MVC, right? It's just a library. It's not a framework. And we're familiar with MVC. You've got data. You've got a way to present the data, and then a way to manage the data. And we can't just not model or control. So some of us had large backbone apps, and we tried to fit React in there, in between the backbone models and backbone controllers. Other people had Angular or Ember apps and tried to do similar things.
More naturally than because I knew about immutability from a language that is built around it. Immutable.js also uses a lot of functional paradigms. So taking things I learned from Clojure, Haskell, both purely functional, and immutability, I was able to use it almost more naturally than normal JavaScript data structures. So go learn other languages to impress other people, become more open-minded, help others, challenge yourself, become more confident, and most importantly for us, become a better JavaScript developer. Thank you.
Wow, yeah. I think Nicholas's voice almost like put me to sleep there. It was really, really soothing. But now it's lunchtime, so get excited. Same as yesterday, 2 doors there. You can line up. Right there, you can line up, and then we will come back and do more talks in an hour and a half or so. Thanks. Okay. All right. I think, yeah, everyone enjoy lunch? I think you did. You definitely enjoyed the desserts because there weren't any left. Thanks a lot. So registration, by the way, closes at 3:30. So if you're watching on the live stream, for some reason you haven't registered yet, I don't know why, you should definitely do that. Otherwise, we will not let you in to the reception later. Yeah. Well, you probably will anyways, but you should register. I'm pressing this. There we go. Okay, so our next speaker is Steve McGuire. Last year at React Conf, Netflix celebrity developer Jafar Hussain spoke about Gibbon. So Gibbon is Netflix's React renderer that is optimized for your television. On Twitter, after his talk, he attributed Gibbon's success to developer extraordinaire Steve McGuire. So ladies and gentlemen, Steve McGuire.
Right, hi, I'm Steve. I work on the UI platform team at Netflix. And one of the things I think is really cool about conferences like this is
Okay, let's take another break. And we have a pretty packed afternoon with 3 consecutive talks at the end of the day, so get your breaking in now while you can. All right. Welcome back, everybody. So I just want to clarify a couple things first. I think I maybe confused people a little bit when I talked about the reception earlier. So if you have your conference badge around your neck right now, just keep that. That's all you need. So that's it. So from 6:30 to 7, we're going to have 3 express elevators that are going to take you from the lobby level up to the 36th floor, which is where the reception will be tonight. We're going to have Tom Okino, a.k.a. DJ Tomo, spinning some tracks for us tonight. I don't know if that's the terminology. Yeah. We also have some leftover T-shirts and lanyards, so at the end of the day, you can go and ask at the desk out there, and someone will give you that if you want it. Okay, our next speaker is Bhuvan Cutter. He used to work at Facebook, and he still works at Facebook, but everyone knows that too. But he actually, oh, sorry. He actually did used to work on the Relay team and does not now, where he started focusing more on performance. And that led him to the JS infrastructure, or rather performance infrastructure team. And ultimately that led him to this stage right now. So let's give him a big round of applause. Bigger. Bigger. All right, well, this will be our last break of the conference. Make sure you do everything you need to do to be able to come back here and sit down for an hour and a half afterwards. Just wanted to mention, though, if you enjoyed that talk, remember Jameson is the organizer of React Rally. It's a really great conference, so you should definitely check that out. In addition to that, there's React Europe coming up on June 2nd and 3rd in Paris, so I'd highly recommend checking that out, too. All right, let's take a break. All right. Okay, here we are in the final stretch. Our next speaker is Tadeu Zagallo. He works at the Facebook London office, the React Native performance team. He's originally from Brazil, and he's one of the hardest working people that I know, actually, and he's also one of the most genuinely curious people that I know. He describes himself on his blog as a software engineer passionate about compilers. He's written about topics like building an x86 emulator in JavaScript and using assembly to profile React Native iOS. So, I guess what I'm trying to say here is you should probably start paying really close attention, right about now. And if you don't, you're probably going to get lost pretty quickly. So, all right, here's Tadeu.
Hello, everyone. It's been 1 year since React Native was announced as a way of unifying how we build web and native apps. You might have heard it before, learn once, write anywhere, or as Shirok put it yesterday, a horizontal platform. But the biggest motivation for creating React Native in the first place was that native apps feel better. They feel better because they are capable of using all the phone's resources. Things that are not available from the web browser environment, things that allow us to create more smooth and responsive apps. So React Native improved a great deal the native development experience. But we also want to make sure that users keep having a first-class experience. And for that, we are investing heavily in performance because we believe that performance is key when it comes to a good
All right, that is it. That's everything. So I guess before we go, I want to say thank you to everyone who's behind us here. Probably not many of you have seen that, but there's like 10 people back there and a lot of equipment and all that to live stream this out to people and record it for later. I don't know if people need to see me in that high definition, but you're going to. I guess you can turn it down. YouTube has that option. Yeah, and also, of course, the other organizers. So as I mentioned before, Christina and Mylene really did all the hard work for this. And of course, Paul organizing the diversity scholarship, which was really amazing. So that's great on Paul. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is, if everyone could just leave as fast as possible, because everyone actually has to be out of this space pretty quick, not even joking, and yeah, and to further motivate, yeah, well, I don't know if that's legal or whatever, but I would say, if I could just scream, yeah, I'm not going to even say the word. So if we could just orderly, don't trample people, but, leave. And go up the escalators, go to the lobby. Yeah, the lights are on, that means go home, right? But go to the lobby. 3 elevators will be going up to the 36th floor where you can eat food and drink alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages and listen to Tom Okino. Cool, thanks.